All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to Allah Akim, who did us doing the work. In sincerity and charity with humiliation all across the four winds. To you I salute. All right. Today the brother got a lesson he want to go into, so yeah, my Lord willing, it'd be edifying. All right, you got it out.
Shalom, Akim. Yeah, man. I was doing some reading, and I wanted to go into this lesson about a family of men in the household. But when I started to go into the lesson, the spirit shift, and it led me on to a lesson dealing with divorce. So I came across this article that was written some time ago. It was back in 2007 actually. It speaks about the divorce rate. And the divorce rate is up over the past 30 years, 700%, particularly here inside the country where we is, inside the Bahamas. We know that divorce rate would be more in spiritually Babylon, right? And, the Most High don't like divorce. You see, the Most High against that, because when you married to a woman, when a woman married to a man, the only grounds really for divorce is if adultery or fornication, right? And that's one of the biggest reasons for divorce. Adultery, social media, they friends, outside sources, and just basically trying to be promiscuous. So this article, what I have here reads, divorce up 700%, right? It says between the years 1975 and 2005, divorce in the Bahamas skyrocketed 700%. It says, in my recent article entitled, Is Marriage on the Decline? I shared the figures that may have startled you. To recap a little, in 1975, there were 99 divorces in the Bahamas, and in 2005, that figure jumped to 689 divorces. Now imagine now, you see? Keep in mind that our population during that same period, did not increase 700%. In fact, the population only increased about 65%. What is also shocking is that according to the figures, less and less Bahamians are getting married each year. And we see that happening even now, in the time where we are now. You see, because everybody just want to be the holler, everybody just want to play the field. Your parents that would tell their daughters, oh, you don't got to rush it, play the field. So they're pretty much giving their daughter permission to go abroad, pretty much to be a harlot. But we can bring on the scripture for that too. It says here, the year with the highest number of marriages was in 2000, when there were 2,366 marriages. In 2006, that figure dropped to 1,731. That means that 635 less couples got married in 2006 as compared to 2000. Now, it says here, why so many divorces? Adultery ranks high as a reason for many divorces in the Bahamas. However, a greater number are getting divorced simply because they cannot get along, right? And one of the reasons why they can't get along is social media. Two people could be living together, but in two separate worlds. Meaning, they inside the same vicinity, but their minds and their hearts is far away from each other. You see? Shoot, you even could liken that unto this truth also. A lot of people confess that they love the Most High with their mouth, but their hearts is far from Him. You see? Same vicinity, two completely different words, right?
God.
And social media and these phones is separating whole households. You see?
God, if I could say something too, right? Social media, that's a platform, that allows both men and women, to flirt and to do other shit.
God.
Especially posting these pictures and things. They call them, you have mainly the women that do this shit. Mm-hmm. They call these pictures now thirst strap.
God.
Where they take these selfies and they post them up, like we gone into it one time before, you know, most of these women, they like to take pictures showing their ass, you know, with them tipping toe on one foot.
And the cleavage.
Can't. Showing their figure, you know. So yeah, man, ultimately that leads to adultery.
God.
You see, and then too, the way how they dress. You see what I said? So, and like the Ark say, these are married couples according to this world.
God.
You know, and then when they go out in public, how you think these people are going to address them?
God.
You see? Both men and women.
God. God.
So,
It reads here, in North America, that is called irreconcilable differences. We don't have that here in the Bahamas. But it reads here, however, in the Bahamas, irreconcilable differences is not a legal ground for divorce. Hence, couples are separating and waiting for 2 years to file on the ground of desertion. So you would have people who say, well, who get married today, and next month they won't file for divorce, but they have to wait 2 years before they can do it. So they'll be living inside the same house all that time and not talking to each other. They probably still be boning each other and then boning other people on the side, but they do it secretly. You see? It says here, many others are divorcing on the grounds of cruelty. Since they want a quicker divorce, they would construe that the mental anguish was too unbearable and seek to end the marriage. That goes into humility, boy. You know, and that goes into the structure of the household being in disarray. Meaning, the woman don't listen to the man, and the man don't listen to the Most High.
okay.
You see, when you lack that structure, when you have the man not following Yahweh Qam Yasharshla, how you expect your woman to follow you?
God.
You see, it don't work that way. You have to, as a man, you have to set that example. You have to be the one to run that household to follow the Most High, and then they would fall in line. And if the Most High have it so not for them to fall in line, then they end up like Lot's wife.
God.
You see, a lost soul, just stringing along, right? It says here, oftentimes the problem was repairable, but they just want to end the marriage as quickly as they can. You know why? Because they have a serpent inside their ears telling them, hey man, you don't need that, boy. You know, I could do better for you. The grass green over here. Oftentimes the grass greener because more shit on that side.
God.
You see?
God.
You know? But I want to get a few scriptures that goes into that, right? You know, we live in an era where marriage is done for publicity. You know, marriage is no longer sacred. You know, people get married for publicity, clout, and in most cases investment.
God.
You see, people get married. Mostly women get married for security. You know, gone. You know, they'd find a wealthy man, and then y'all don't find it interesting that a man with money or wealth would marry a woman that has nothing, and a woman with wealth would think twice to marry a man who doesn't have anything. Y'all don't find that interesting?
God.
You see? You know, women tend to marry for investment. Men marry for love. You know, women marry for security, for investment, for those funds. Most women. You see?
God.
Ain't nothing sacred in marriages no more. You know, people get married today and get divorced the next month like it's nothing. You know, when we get the precept inside 1 Corinthians 7, and we start at verse 10. You know?
All right. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, and verse 10. It says, and unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband.
God, let not the wife depart from her husband. And that word depart means divorce, or, you know, to be asunder. You know, let not the wife depart from her husband. The Most High don't like divorce. You see? Read on now.
Verse 11. But if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband.
Gone. But if she depart, let her remain unmarried. Meaning, if y'all have an argument or if y'all separate, when it says there, let her remain unmarried, meaning don't let another man go on to you. Don't let another man juice you.
God.
You see, because you know you have woman out there whenever y'all separate or you see you're on a break, she out there being a harlot. She out there juicing every man she can find. You know, but scripture says let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband, meaning y'all work that shit out.
God.
You know the word reconcile means to put back together. Just how we were reconciled back to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai when Israel played the harlot. You see? You don't know.
Yeah. It says, and let not the husband put away his wife.
Gone. And that word put away means divorce. Meaning, you know, as a man, you ain't supposed to put away your wife. The only reason you're supposed to put away your wife is for adultery or fornication.
God.
You see?
God.
The Most High does not like divorce, you know? And you know, keeping in mind that according to the scripture, sex is marriage.
God.
You see? And when we go to Matthew, let's go to Matthew 5, we'll pick it up at verse 31.
God. Sex consummates marriage.
God. You can look at the word marriage as well.
God.
God.
You get it in the etymology.
You know?
All right, this is the book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 31. Had it been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement.
You know?
But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, committed adultery.
God. See, yo? And whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication. Meaning, if you put her away other than for the reason of fornication, you going off.
God.
You see? You can cause her to commit adultery. You see? That woman can go there. Again, as the man, the Most High holds you accountable for everything. In a relationship, the Most High holds you accountable. You see? That's how he held Adam accountable when Eve ate of the fruit that he was instructed, that he told her not to eat from. Even though she's the one that transgressed, the Most High still held Adam accountable. And see here, Yahweh is saying the same thing. You know, if you put off your wife other than for the reason of fornication, you causing her to commit adultery, right? And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committed adultery. Meaning, if she go there and she have sex with another man, she caused that man to commit adultery and she committing adultery. And that's how come we end up as a nation of adulterous, that's how we end up an adulterous nation.
God.
You know, according to Matthew 12 and 39. You see, let me bring up that brief up.
God.
Matthew 12 and 39. But he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. But the point there is an evil and adulterous generation. You see, and that's the type of generation what we in now. Because when you think about it, all of us are pretty adulterous.
God.
All of us are pretty much adulterous. You see? Because many of us come across one or two virgins, but that don't necessarily mean we still with them. You know what? Many of us, when we come across our wives, we didn't meet them as virgins, right?
God.
So when we go on to them, wouldn't that still make us, they divorce from their original husband, the person who popped them? And doesn't that make us adulterous also?
God. You know, in the eyes of the Lord, because you know you have people today, they look at adultery as, you know, you go before the preacher and you get married and you know you have a problem and then you go and you sleep with another woman, what's not, and people look at that as being marriage or adultery, but in reality, sex is marriage. If you could bring that definition out up.
God. Let me see my check, but I can bring it out.
All right.
It says marriage, action of enter into wedlock. Also state or condition of being husband and wife. Matrimony, wedlock. Also a union of man and woman for woman for life by marriage. A particular matrimonial union.
A union of who? Man and woman. Can I say man and man, right?
God.
And now I say woman and woman. Now I say man and animal. Man and woman. Alright.
This is marriage, dowry. This is participle or martyr to wed, marry, give in marriage. He ain't saying not much like that. It says the marriage vow, formal declaration or contract by which two join in wedlock. He's all going on with this.
God.
The celebration of a marriage ceremony, intimate union, a joining as by marriage is from late 14th century.
God. See that one of the definitions is intimate union. All right, and that's what marriage is according to the Most High.
God.
When you read Genesis 24:67, that's marriage. All right, like the Ark was saying, sex consummate marriage.
God.
That's exactly what it is.
Right.
When you have people just sleeping around and they even ain't considering the fact that they are actually married.
Married. God. Exactly.
All right. I get a quick go into that word consummate. It says make a marriage or relationship complete by having sexual intercourse.
Right? Marriage. That's it. All right, because a lot of times when you have arguments with your woman or your wife or whatever, and you all lay together, that pretty much iron out all the problems. You see what I said?
Yeah. And they give an example. They say, this is an example. They did not consummate their marriage until months after it took place.
God.
Sex.
Yeah, man. But like the Ark was going into, man, you have a lot of people out there that's, they're sleeping around, getting so-called married according to this world for security and clout, and not for love. Because 9 times out of 10, a man do it for love. But men today waking up to that shit now. That's why the marriage rate, the divorce rate is so high.
Right, he ain't lasting long.
And that's why a lot of men think twice about getting married.
That's
according
it,
according to this world.
God.
See?
Because then too, when you look at it, marriage only basically benefit the woman.
God.
You see, because ain't no man interested in going and getting married, and then when you go and you get divorced, all his shit, he lose all his shit.
Yeah.
You see, that's one of the main reasons too why divorce rate is so high, or why men in particular ain't getting married.
And when you think on it too, the scripture that goes into he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. According to the marriage of this world, with the ring and all the ceremony and thing, that woman is basically property. It's pretty much stock, But we live inside a society whereas, they say a man could rape his wife. How could you rape your own property?
Your possession.
Exactly. Where if they twin and become one, how is it that you rape yourself? You see? How is it that, if you tell them not to do a certain thing and they still go there and do it, how is it that, you get chastised for that? You see?
Done. Then do another thing too. What is further promote the adultery is that you have men, they lose their jobs, you understand, and have a hard time as far as financially, and providing for his family. You see what I'm saying? And then a woman, she'll have maybe a little job, what's not, but then she ain't trying to hold down the house.
No.
You know what she then in turn and do? Complain, and then go and find somebody else.
God.
Even, as a matter of fact, I could bring this precept out.
25 and 22.
God. Yeah.
You don't get it?
Yeah.
Sirach 25 and 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
Right. You see that? If she maintain her husband, meaning, she taking care of the house, she paying all the bills, everything, because at that point in time, her husband ain't working. you know, that she's full of anger. So guess what? She watching everything he do now.
Right.
So if he dirty your plate or dirty your pot, that's nice. You understand? He go and take a shower, and he come out the shower and the rug ain't fixed in a certain way. That's wrong. You understand? You know, talking to him dad bad. All right. Okay. You didn't have voice.
Verse 23. A wicked woman abated the courage, making an heavy countenance and a wounded heart.
Right. All right. Because man, things like that's be heavy on man's mind.
God.
All right. Read.
A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, make it weak hands and feeble knees.
Right. So that's basically, you know, she always going in and talking shit to him.
Right.
All right. To the point whereby she even try to like fight him. You see what I saying? And man, we seeing that happen. I seen it happen.
God. And, yet,
You know?
and if she try to fight him, if he fight back, he in all the wrong.
Come.
Because it's a double negative. Because if you fight back, you get locked up because they say you hit a woman, right? If you don't fight back, the dog can be you get your ass cut from a woman.
Come. That's it.
You see?
The police get called in, and guess what?
You gone.
You gotta leave the house.
God. You gotta leave the house with you been.
God. You understand? Leave that for another man to lay up in.
God.
All right. You got it out.
You know, on the same note, what the ark said, you know, woman use sex as a bargaining tool. You know, not only single women do that, you know, but women who have husband and thing, they use that too. You see, they use that box to get what they want. And when they see, you know, when they see a man who ain't swayed by that, who ain't moved by that, you know, they try to find other means. They try to use your children. You see? And just like the precept with the ark brought out, if you're living with that woman, then you got another set of a headache that come along with it. You see?
Done.
It says, I read here, you know, this works on most men because they put their whole focus into that woman. When you put more focus into the carnal woman as opposed to the spiritual woman, you know, Sophia, you know, you tend to go off. You see, this truth comes first. You know, as a man of the Most High, this truth comes before everything. You see? And just like the ark brought out, you know, in Sirach chapter 25, but picking up at verse 21, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire not for pleasure. You know, it tells you not to stumble after her beauty.
God.
You're supposed to subdue the flesh, you know. You're supposed to subdue those urges. You see? Because the word, this truth again will keep you stable in those times. You know, whenever those temptations come upon you.
God,
when we
God.
go here, it reads, let's jump up to verse 25. Sirach 25 and 25, right?
All right. Sirach 25 and 25, it says, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to guard abroad.
God. And that word God means to move restlessly or aimlessly. Meaning, don't give that woman liberty to do what she feel like, you know. And just how we brought out earlier in a marriage, that woman is your possession. You supposed to tell her what to do, when to do it. You supposed to guide her. You see, but society have it that if you try to do that, you know, you have some jackass or their friend or their family, or that man telling you what to do, or it's like he have you like a puppet, or you this, you that, you's a fool. And that plays on their minds, because don't forget the woman is the weaker vessel, so those things would start to play on their mind. That seed will start to grow, and next thing you know, you have a rebellious woman.
God.
You see?
God. You know, it says again, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to guard abroad. The word liberty is going into freedom.
God.
You know, because a lot of these so-called independent women, you know, they have a lot of freedom.
God.
Freedom to do what? To hop on the carousel.
God.
You see what I said? Therefore, they damn rocking up all kind of bodies. You see what I said?
God.
I telling you. All right? Because why? They ain't looking at a man as being the alpha male and being the husband and provider. They're looking at that man not as a human, but as security. Like the ark brought out.
If I could just say something, right? Man, I I saw someone post, right? They say, man, there's an alpha female. Say they can provide everything. They need man to do nothing for them. You know? I say the society, boy, I tell you.
Jack right up.
I tell you, boy. And the main thing was cause woman got abroad is divorce.
Come.
You know? That's the main thing was cause woman got abroad.
Right.
All right?
That freedom.
Right. Because if they, in the case of divorce, all right, let's say if the woman get put in court by the man, all right, what you think can happen? She can go start doing shit.
Come.
All right, she have all kind of liberty to do shit. Or I gotta get this money and this thing and this money.
Come.
And if the money ain't getting, if she ain't present that money to the court in time, that pressure get on her. What you think can happen?
Come.
She can be doing the shit.
Gone.
Come. Going back to being promiscuous.
Gone. There you go.
God abroad. And then too, if I could add to that before you bring out the precept, you know, you flick in, hop on the carousel going from dick to dick to dick to dick to dick, right? At the end of the day, guess what? You still ain't have nothing to show for that.
Right.
That's it.
Only damn heavy damage, all right?
And a stink scent.
The sting scent and the heavy debt. You see what I said?
Good.
All right. Yeah, man. That's what you get.
Right.
Good.
Right.
You got it out.
Yeah. You know, the Most I say we ain't supposed to give the woman the liberty to God abroad. You know, to move restlessly or aimlessly. We as a man, we the ones that supposed to give them guidance.
God.
That's how, as a man, we look to Yahweh Shai for guidance. Yahweh Shai looks to Yahweh for guidance. The woman looks to the man for guidance. You see, when you think about it, women love to be told what to do. You know, that in their nature.
God.
You see that in their nature, they love to be told what to do. You see.
Salaki, right? If I could add something, with, like how you say that. Well, we know in this society too, the men, majorities niggas are effeminate too.
God.
You know, they more
More womanish than the woman.
Yeah, boy.
You see.
Yeah, but
Go ahead.
yeah, that's all I want to see.
You know, and like you, I'm glad you brought up that point in the society, right? The point where they say women like to be told what to do. Now, Esau, who runs this society, this wicked society, doesn't he instruct the woman as to what they could do?
Yeah.
So if the serpent whispering inside their ears and telling them, man, you could do this, you could do that, you got liberty to do all these different things. Who you think they can listen to? You think they can listen? Do you think they can listen to the uprighteous? You think they can listen to Adam? Huh? When the serpent telling them sweet things?
God.
You see? Eve didn't listen to Adam. Go ahead, huh? You got it there. Bring it up, boy.
That's what you want, right?
God.
All right. Jeremiah 31:22. That's it.
How long will thou go about? God. Backsliding daughter.
Right. Jeremiah 31:22. How long will thou go about? How long will thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter?
God.
For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
God. The woman is the head of the household now. Because of who? Esau, he gave them liberty to do what they want.
God.
You see? And Israel, who the nation we backslide. That's how come the Most High put the woman set the woman up. You know, to be inside that position. You see? Because we didn't listen to Yahweh Shai. You know, the Most High had it so that the woman wouldn't listen to us.
And it's due to feminism also.
God.
These women at the forefront will be in charge of every flecking thing.
Right.
Yeah, boy.
You know, as a man, it's our duty to tell them and to guide them. But again, we have ourselves to blame also, because you have those effeminate men out there now who out there tell them, oh girl, you don't gotta worry about that man, you can find your next one. They already doing wickedness, they doing an abominable act. And now they inside the woman there is telling them to do an abominable act. So you got wickedness instructing wickedness.
God.
And what can come out of that? only wickedness.
More wickedness.
God. You know? And that effeminate nature more and more. Because now when it was times as you know, you only had to worry about adultery from another male fooling with your female. Now you gotta worry about another female out there trying to fool with your
That's some
female.
shit.
That's some shit. Is it correct?
That's some shit.
You see? Yeah, man. The wickedness in this land is running rampant. But the divorce rate is crazy. The adultery rate is like next nothing. People commit adultery like buying candy out of the shop.
Can.
You know, they do it without thinking twice on it.
Can.
You know, not knowing they only bringing more destruction upon their own head. You know.
Can. And like we mentioned earlier, you know, social media have a lot to do with it, because prior to social media, the body count wasn't as high.
Right.
You know, the divorce rate wasn't as high. That's when, you know, you had some sort of structure.
Social media make it convenient.
Right. You know.
You know what? You know, that brings me to the next point. We inside this captivity. You know, we have to be able to bear this wickedness. You know what I mean? We have to be able to bear the hardship that we going into. You know, this was a lesson they brought out a while back. You know, but when it comes to the scriptures, they don't never get old.
Can.
You see, we have to be able to bear the iniquities that we come across. We have to bear the cross. We have to bear this truth, because being in this truth, you know, the Most High had it so. The Most High had it so that He opened our eyes, and He gave us a listening ear. You know, to hear His word, to come out of to come out of being a dry bone. You see, the Most High breathing us the spirit of life, and now that He gave us the truth, He gave us the word. Now we have to bear that. You see, any one of us could have been out inside the world doing any manner of wickedness, doing any manner of folly. You see, but the Most High put this truth in us, you know, to bear it. You know, the burden light. You see.
Can.
Let's get Matthew 16 and 24.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 16. All right, and verse 24. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
Come. Let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Meaning, deny all the pleasures of this world. Deny all the things that you loved in this world. You have that comes not even a close second to this truth. You see? All the lust that you had, you know, your family, you know, your whatever vices that you had,